Good morning, fellow humans. And yes, as always, we spell that HUEMONDS, colorful nuts, because that's what we is. Colorful nuts. We are not like filthy rags or we are special, but we're colorful nuts. We don't have a sinful nature. We have an inquisitive, curious nature. We don't like being marionettes, marionettes on a string. Let's see. Okay, so Atticus von Atticus has arrived. The Untersergeant Extraordinaire. Extraordinaire or ordinaire? Yes, okay, so here we are. Another day. All right, so this is, again, Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. This is day 3 in week 3 of our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. A 4-week program for the State Pen. It's the State Pen workbook, not playbook, not fun book, not coloring book. It's the workbook, 4 hours a day to a better life. And when you're in prison, you got 4 hours. Most people have the 4 hours multiplied many times over because it's mostly boring, punctuated by short periods of intensity, emotional intensity. Okay, so day 3, week 3, outside my skull-sized kingdom. Our goal is to, this week's goal is to learn how to get other people to help us. And if we use the metaphor, if we extend the metaphor of our ship and an adventure, we have to build a boat to go on the adventure of a lifetime. If we have to build that boat to do it, the boat is going to be large, so large that it requires a crew. So in other words, it's not a thing that's a boat with sail, with a below deck, with a hull. And so, the below deck, so we can store our stuff, we safety and comfort, get out of the elements. And so we need to have a crew. We need to have a crew that help us on the journey, not undermine us, not make our lives less easy. So how do we choose those people? That's the question of a lifetime. How do you choose the people that are going to help you on your journey? We don't really think about that. We don't spend enough time. We're not strategic about it. We're not analytical about it. It's kind of like a feeling thing. We leave it to our feelings. So we're here to help get a little bit more a neuroscience oriented approach to finding the people that are going to help us on our journey through this life, the adventure of a lifetime. So Monday, David Logan, USC business professor, we learned that we are all members of tribes. We're social animals and we join tribes. We form tribes where we do things with people who have common interest as us, or we adopt the interests that they have because it seems cool. And we learn that there are 5 stages of tribes, going from life sucks to, well, life doesn't suck, my life sucks, to stage 3, which is I'm great and you're not, to stage 4, we're great, to stage 5, life is great. And if you take that, turn it sideways, it'll form a normal distribution, meaning there are less people who think life sucks than there are who think I'm great, you're not. And less people who get life is great than that. So it forms a normal distribution in there. And our job, David Logan says that our job once we join a tribe, we're going to join tribes, but our job is to nudge the tribe forward. Come on, homie, let's go. To nudge the tribe forward to better things, to a higher stage. So if we're in a stage 2 tribe, example he gives is the DMV, working at the DMV, that's a stage 2 tribe, which he describes as how can people be so dumb and yet live? That's the experience the consumer has walking in. How can people be so dumb and yet live? Our job, if we're in that stage 2 tribe, is to nudge it forward to stage 3 and then to stage 4. So that's David Logan. How do we get people to help us on our journey? We get good at nudging people to the next level, joining a tribe, nudge it forward. Now, yesterday, we learned from Seth Godin, how do you nudge? How do you nudge? Well, there's a 4-step process. First, you got to find something to change. If we're just going to do the same old thing, you're not going to be able to nudge people forward. You got to find something to change. That's kind of like a duh, like Jesus's disciples, as described in Mark. They're the disciples. Okay, so first we got to find something to change. How do we do that? We look around. What sucks around here? What could be improved? We ask people, what do you think we can do better around here? What do you think we should do differently? You observe, you ask questions, people. You will find out. So that's number 1. Find part of the status quo to change. 2, tell a compelling story. 3, connect the true believers. And more importantly, ignore the non-true believers. Ignore the people who are not on board with your compelling story. And then 4, lead them. Today, we're going to focus on, with Simon Sinek, how do you tell a compelling story? That's the key. That, my dear Watson, that is the key. So, before answering that question, let's go look at our worksheet, see what advice we have from an 80-year-old. Think twice before burdening a friend with a secret. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. To know, as with yourself or with myself, if I have a secret, I want to tell somebody. I've got this value, I've got this information that nobody else knows. I want them to know that I know this because that means I'm special. I'm in the know. So I want to tell somebody. But no, if I tell them, I have to swear them to secrecy. And no, I don't want to do that. Well, I do want to do it, but I know they're not going to keep it secret. And then it's going to come back on me. So think twice before burdening a friend with the secret. Cool. Seth Godin, value creation. This is a long one, so I don't think we're going to do it, but there's a simple law. No one buys anything unless it produces more value than it costs. No one buys anything unless it produces more value than it costs. This seems obvious. You could be in the form of sustenance, status, affiliation, peace of mind, or help. And value is always measured by the user. $300 caviar spoon will only be purchased if someone believes it produces more than $300 in value and they can afford it. The user doesn't care how much it costs you to create. They don't care how much you need the sale. So why don't nurses get paid more? It's pretty clear that they produce value far in excess of their salaries. And why are Taylor Swift concerts so expensive? It doesn't cost the promoter much at all to offer the last seat. The reason is clear. Scarcity. When there are substitutes, informed consumers usually choose the cheapest identical item. True. That's why expensive wine costs more than water, even though you can't live without water. This all comes together when we realize that a good business project doesn't simply create value, it also is built around some sort of scarcity. Freelancers are tempted to forget this and end up racing to the bottom. You can't You pick anyone and I'm anyone is not a useful marketing slogan. People are going to buy this from someone, but why would they buy it from you? Why would they buy it from you? Tell us about the value you create. And tell your investors about why your offering will be persistently scarce. Okay, thank you, Seth Godin. We got anything else? Darren Hardy was pretty good this morning. What one was really good was Daily Stoic. 3 harsh, no sugarcoating reminders from Stoicism. Okay, but why are we here? Why is we here? Simon Sinek, how do you tell a compelling story? Very simply. Imagine like a circle with 3 rings. Circle, circle, circle. And the questions are how, what, and why. Mostly, we promote what we do by focusing on the what we do or how we do it. How, what, why. Yes, Matt, you are the lone survivor of Flammerflosa. Simon Sinek says you need to tell a compelling story about why we need to change the status quo. Why do we need to change the status quo? Not how we're going to do it, not what we're going to do, not how we're going to do it, why we need to do it. Why do we need to change the status quo? And if you get people to believe this is why we need to change the status quo, guess what? They will cooperate flexibly in large numbers. From Yuval Harari, something we learned way back in week 1. Thursday of week 1. Tell a compelling story. If we can work. So Yuval Harari came at it from the other angle. We can cooperate flexibly in large numbers because we tell stories that we believe. A story that we believe is a compelling story. We tell compelling stories. That's how we could reframe Yuval Harari. We are the only animals in the world that cooperate flexibly in large numbers because only humans can tell compelling stories. That's it. Tell a compelling story. The compelling story is why we need to change the status quo. Boom, simple. Simple. Mic drop. Mic drop. That's how simple it is. Why do we need to change the status quo? And then you ask the question, who's coming with me? Who's with me on this? Who's with me? Let's go. Once they say, I am with you, when you get to the leadership part, that's where you get the how we're going to change it and what we're going to change. Once you have the followers, before they're following you, before you're leading, you're simply convincing them why we need to change the status quo. Winston Churchill was great at this. We will never surrender. Never, never, never. We will never surrender. We will fight them on the beaches. We'll fight them in the dales. We'll fight them on the streets. We'll fight them on the landing fields. But we will never, never, never surrender. Okay? He's not talking about how we're going to do it. He's not talking about what exactly we are going to do. He's just saying we will never surrender. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. No. All right. Today is Wednesday. And this is the day we have our volunteers breakfast at the Methodist Church at 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 sharp. And things are moving forward with the housing. Proud to announce once again, not announce, but to remind that we have 2 houses opening up, one on Homestead for men. We need to fill the beds. We need people in there who are going to make things happen. Make things happen. Make things happen. We have our van. We're going to change the status quo. Why? Because people are not animals. We are commanded to help those less fortunate than us. We're commanded to help the hungry, the thirsty, the naked, the sick, the unhoused, and the people incarcerated. We are commanded to do that. It's what we is commanded to do. So, let's go do it. Let's go make something happen. Let's get on with the adventure of our life. Let's have the yardstick. This is the adventure of my life. Let's make something memorable, remarkable happen. If you believe the kingdom of heaven is within and that God lives vicariously through us, hyper-vicariously through us, let's make God smile today that we did something to help someone else. And with that, we will say Om, Shivas, and Shalom. Om. Okay. And with that, and cut.